Welcome back to Hike the Y podcast.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Let's go.
We're back.
Let's go.
We're back with the team. Everyone's here except for Ty, unfortunately.
Why did you leave off with everyone's here?
Yeah.
Obviously
Everyone's not here, bro.
Everyone's here except for Ty. Unfortunately, Ty has been in a major accident, and no, I'm just kidding. Ty is no longer with us on the podcast. Unfortunately, he is out serving the Lord, and so we're thankful that he is going on a mission. But we're back with the podcast. It's been a
Let's
while
go.
because
Heck yeah.
we had winter break and just not being at BYU. So it's good to be back with you boys. How's
Heck
it
yeah.
going?
We
It's
did
good to be back
record a
with you guys,
podcast
too.
actually, but it ended up not being recorded.
Oh yeah.
You botched it. You told him? Yeah.
Because I was actually on my deathbed, like dying of sickness. I was so sick and I was gonna come.
It was better that it wasn't because we did like a game by game preview of the college football
Oh, that's
playoff,
fun.
and it ended up like being like the
Completely
worst
wrong.
bracket of all time. We can talk about
Yeah.
that later, maybe.
Oh man. Oh, we should talk about some college football playoff on the pod. But anyway,
Let's do it
Yeah, we
anyway.
can talk about that some other time.
Take
But
it away.
we're back on the podcast, and it's been a long break, and we're finally done with college football. We've got the college football playoffs or the championship coming
The
up
natty, bro.
on Monday, and so we're super stoked for Miami and Indiana to go to the championship.
I'm be honest though, Indiana. Hopefully it's a good game. Indiana looks like they're just gonna
Just roll them,
bull
right?
wreck them.
If we're gonna talk about it right now, yeah, Indiana's gonna. I think Indiana's.
And you know what? Because we're talking about it, Miami's probably just gonna win because that's how it goes.
Because we
when
just
we're
said it,
talking about
yeah.
on the podcast. But BYU's season is unfortunately over until next fall.
Dang.
So we want to talk about some of like the MVPs, some of the top plays, some of the review, like just a review over the entire football
Yeah, just a
season.
little review. It should be fun.
Yeah. So I think we wanted to start it off with Connor.
All right.
Connor, can you kick us off?
I can kick us off with my offensive MVP for this season. A little bit of a low flyer statistically. Give me
Drum roll.
Carson Ryan.
Ooh.
Carson Ryan, offensive MVP, because
Okay, that's enough, Nate. That's enough.
Sorry, guys.
Nate's messing with the soundboard. Nate's messing with the soundboard. But
It's my new toy.
no, but give me Carson Ryan. I mean, talk about big time catches, big time moments, but also his blocking just set up so many LJ Martin runs, Bear Bachmeier scrambles. He set up so much of the offense that stats don't really show it. You maybe could get some stats to like look up his blocking success rate or whatnot, but he's just one of the guys that he came in as like a leader as well. And he played at Utah before, but he bled blue the whole time, I think, his whole career. So I'm sad we only got him 1 year, but he just carried offensively. He set the tone in so many different ways that it was hard to see even in the stadium, not until going back and looking at the replays, like, oh, LJ Martin runs for like another huge third down conversion. Who's blocking? Who's his lead blocker? It's Carson Ryan. Carson Ryan, 3rd down and 7. We are looking like we're in trouble. Carson Ryan's got a first down. Like, he was very reliable, tough as nails guy, and that's my offensive MVP.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that. In the Georgia Tech game for like the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Carson Ryan was really
He went off.
leading the entire offense.
Oh, yeah, for
you
sure.
know? Like,
I argued that he should have been the offensive MVP because I know that Bear had all the stats and he's the quarterback and that's why he got it. But Carson's a big reason why.
yeah. He was the one who's like getting hit. He was the do you guys remember it's like along the left sideline and he just like takes like
Broke a
4
couple of
guys with
tackles.
him.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
He's like, looks like George Kittle.
Yeah.
Like, I love Carson Ryan
Definitely one of those Sunday players. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, Connor, you stole the words right out of my mouth. Carson Ryan is one of my
Oh, man.
offensive MVPs too. Going back to the Georgia Tech game, just a little stat: 8 receptions, 120 yards, and that's just like the stats right there. He does so much for the team. But I think he's probably one of BYU's biggest offensive MVPs, just because BYU hasn't had a reliable tight end over the last couple of years. Ever since Isaac Rex left, BYU just their tight end room has been completely
That is
depleted.
true.
And so it was really big this year for BYU, especially with a young Bear Bachmeier to have somebody to go to. And then I just threw in a couple other guys. I feel like we can't say enough about Bear Bachmeier. After his freshman season, he threw for over 3,000 yards. And he was a menace on the ground too. Like, you couldn't really stop him unless he was injured like he was against Georgia Tech. And then BYU had some struggles running the ball. But he was awesome all season. And then I want to give a shout out to the offensive line. Bruce Mitchell, BYU's center, he did amazing. Like you saw how many times LJ Martin was able to just run up the gut and get chunk yards. And obviously LJ's awesome. And I wanted to put him on here, but I kind of wanted to go with some more under the radar guys. And so Bruce Mitchell just did an awesome job blocking. There was, I don't remember, like, besides maybe, I think there was one snap that was high, and Bear had to, like, run back for it. I can't remember which game it was. Like, other than that, like, if you don't notice a snap, that's a good thing. And we didn't really notice it all season. So shout out to Bruce Mitchell.
Yeah, such a phenomenal player. I think you guys took the words out of my mouth. Definitely, I love Carson Ryan. I love Bear Bachmeyer. I love LJ Martin. I love everything that they've done. But one player I've got to go is someone who I had a love-hate relationship all season.
Oh, is it Parker Kingston?
It is Parker Kingston.
PK Fire!
PK Fire himself. I was one of the haters. I'm not going to lie. At the beginning of the season, I was not the biggest fan of Parker Kingston because of a couple muff punts. But he has improved so much. And I think he had a couple of returns, or I guess not a couple. He had one return that was phenomenal. He was making some big catches, especially in the Georgia Tech game and in our bowl game. Everyone's going to go back to the Texas Tech game where he muffed the punt, and I don't think that's. I mean, it is his fault, but but I think that he was able to bounce back and just become a phenomenal player. He sometimes gets overshadowed by how fast he is. He was the state championship in the state champion in 3 different events back when he was in high school. He's a quick guy. So just his speed, his agility, the fact that A-Rod was able to draw up a couple of plays, it's only because Parker Kingston is just such a fast player who's just able to run downhill. So I'd say my offensive MVP is Parker Kingston.
Yeah, without Parker Kingston, this offense would have looked drastically different. So I agree with you there. Let's jump over to defensive MVPs. Connor, who's your guy?
My guy, there's so many to pick from.
I know. It's so hard.
I cannot pick just one. I think somehow I'm going to pick somebody that's somehow on Brandon's list as well.
We'll see.
Let's see. I have, oh man, there's just so many. There's so many. I'll run it with our defense was 8. I will say that. I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't want to leave anybody out. I will say one guy, if I have to pick just one, the first guy that came to mind was Evan Johnson.
Schmev himself.
Schmev himself. The one guy that came to mind, just steadiness at corner is something that BYU has needed this season. And like even when against the best receiver in the Big 12, when he played against TCU, Schmev still locked him down. Like it looked like a good stat line, but then you're like, that's the biggest stat line that Evan Johnson gave up all season. I just think his ability, his poise in tense moments, especially ending the season, sealing the victory after getting beat. As soon as he got beat, I literally said to my dad, he got beat on that 60-yard play, and I said to my dad, but he's going to come back. Like I knew it. And so I just really, ton of respect for him, and to have somebody like that come to BYU and just stay here has been really valuable.
Yeah, I had Evan Johnson on my list. You kind of covered everything I was going to say. So that was awesome. He had some big-time picks, which was nice, and he was also a really good lockdown corner and a solid tackler. Falatau Satuala was big for this BYU team. We were coming into the season, and it looked like our cornerback room was going to be good. And then he just, at the safety position, brought it to a next level. He had the most tackles on the Cougs defense, and it just seemed he was always there. He was always like where the ball was. He was reading everything really well. And then the pick since against Iowa State, probably my favorite play all year.
That was a huge
He just read
play.
that play like a book, and it was awesome, and it changed that game. So I'm going to give my MVP to Satuala. And then also a little shout-out for Tanner Wall. Senior for BYU. He also played amazing.
Yeah. If I would have known that you guys were going to talk about him, I would have brought up like a D lineman or something. I would have said like Tanu Vasa or something like that.
Yeah, I know. It feels like we're leaving guys out, but
that's why I said I gave my little disclaimer at the beginning, so then we cover all the bases. Everybody knows that we could have picked anybody.
Yeah, I like Tanu Vasa because of his leadership. That's not the guy who I chose. On my list was also Schmev. I loved his interceptions. I love his energy. when he gets a big play, he seems to lift up the entire defense. You know what I'm saying? I also love Satawala. He also had that big block against Utah where he just rocked that Utah player.
Oh yeah, that was a
where
big
just
moment.
like helmet to pads, just absolutely like rocked him. And so I'm just like a big fan of Satawala. But I think my MVP comes from my hometown, good old Isaiah Glasker.
There you
From
go.
South Jordan, Utah, played at Bingham High School. I loved Isaiah Glasker because of this stat right here. He only had three sacks on the season, but he had 36 solo tackles. He is a big
That's
guy.
incredible.
He's 6'5", 240 pounds. And when you see like someone getting out to the edge, Isaiah Glasker is just like flying and just like grabbing onto them, bringing them down to the ground. I always feel so confident when Isaiah Glasker is getting in the backfield, when he is reading the play, just the way he can vision the quarterback. Kind of like he does a little bit of spine sometimes too. So I love the way that Glasker just like plays. Such a phenomenal athlete. And he's staying. Same with
Yeah, I was
Satawala
about to say,
and
like,
Schmev. All
That's
three
a
of them
big
are
deal.
staying.
That's a big deal to get them back.
And all three of them could have gone to the NFL, well, except for Satawala. But all three of them could have gone this year.
Or to Michigan.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody was saying that Falatau was going to go to Michigan. So for him to stay, that's big.
Yeah, so like we haven't covered it on the podcast yet, but for those who don't know, BYU's defensive coordinator went to Michigan with Coach Kyle Whittingham. So we're gonna have a new.
And he was so good too.
He was
Man,
good.
The halftime adjustments, I was like, every time we're going into halftime, I was like, I know we're gonna have a great second half on defense. But
It's so true. I love the hire though. I'm so excited to watch Michigan. Actually, like I know how weird that sounds, but I loved that. Kyle
get him
Whittingham-
off the podcast.
Kyle Whittingham didn't retire a Ute, that he's gonna have something else to do, and that he kind of got. It looks now like really bad for Utah because like he looks like he got forced out, but for him to stay in the coaching, and like it's just better for football for him to be here.
Yeah,
And not at Utah. And I love that he wears blue now.
and good luck to Jay Hill as well, our former defensive coordinator. Like, if you want to like keep moving on in the business, you got to take new jobs and you got to keep working up the chain. And so, best of luck to Jay Hill at Michigan.
And who wouldn't accept a job at Michigan? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Michigan is one of the programs that people want to go to.
That's one of the. I was talking about that with my dad. If you get a call from Alabama, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, any of those schools, you at least listen. And so for him to go, it just shows kind of the caliber
Forgot
of program.
Sacramento State in there.
I did. I'm slipping. My fault.
Just kidding.
But I just shows like the caliber of program that BYU has, where a lot of fans kind of like didn't like that hire. They were like, they wish he would have been able to stay. But if you can't build up again what we just built up and what we had with Jay Hill, if you can't do that with another coach, then your program is not deep. But I think we have a deep program, and I'm really excited to see Kelly Poppinga now come into that position and now take over and see what he does with it now.
Yeah, and he was great on special teams too. So I love that BYU's hiring from within the organization, someone who already knows the defense, someone that the players already have a connection with. And so I think BYU's defense is going to have a smooth transition after losing their defensive coordinator to this next year.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, he used to coach for Bronco Mendenhall, which is like, I didn't know that.
Kelly
So,
Poppinga did?
yep, he coached
fun.
under
Yep,
Bronco Mendenhall at Virginia. So, right? It was Virginia?
I think.
I have to.
I know Bronco Mendenhall.
I'm trying to find it if it was in Virginia, but I know Bronco Mendenhall went to Virginia, and it also says he coached at Virginia. So,
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, just like
If he's wrong, nobody
just
will
use
tell you.
that.
All right, let's move on to the best moment of the season. We already kind of talked about this in a previous episode, but for this one, at least I was thinking, like, I wasn't thinking best play, but like best moment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm thinking, like, when was I feeling the most joy
I've got it
watching
already.
this BYU football team play?
I've got it already.
Connor,
it's really easy.
you want to go?
Yeah, 100%. Beating Utah.
Okay.
Enough said. Unless
Fair.
we win the national championship, beating Utah will never not be good. But this one was especially sweet. Big noon kickoff.
Yep.
Everybody came. The hype was there. Ranked versus ranked in a conference matchup. BYU and Utah hasn't happened in 15 years. So for that to happen, big deal. And so just to get that dub felt so good.
I mean, it felt awesome. But I went with a couple other things, just because I do like the BYU. It's obviously up there. I wanted to throw a couple other things in there. This one is gonna hurt, but the first drive against Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship, where we went down and scored a touchdown, I was
a good
so
moment.
hyped. I was like, we're up 7-0 in the first quarter. Like, we're going to win the Big 12 championship. We're going to the college football playoff. We're having a home game at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. And the student section of the Rock, we're going to show out. We're going to show up. We're going to beat some team. It's going to be the greatest night of my life. And then after that, it was just all downhill.
Yeah.
But we had that one moment. And then the one other thing, I don't know why this just hit a nerve for me. But Bear Bachmeier against Georgia Tech didn't run at all. Like, he had that hurt ankle. He couldn't do anything. But then the 2-point conversion that BYU needed to pull within 3, Bear Bachmeier lowered the shoulder and went right through a Georgia Tech linebacker to get into the end zone. That was so hype. I was so excited for that moment.
That was awesome.
Yeah, those are my.
I like
fun
that.
moments.
I like that about the Texas Tech though. I was looking it up. That was the last full, complete yard touchdown drive that they allowed the rest of the season, because against Oregon scored 2 short touchdown drives, but they didn't score. They didn't go across the whole field. So we were the last team to take them the length of the field and get the end zone. So that was a good moment.
It's a
I
little.
kind of forgot about that moment because of what happened later, but that was
Gents, I'm trying to think of like what like the best, like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be a Cougar. I don't want to sound like a broken record because you guys took some really good ones, but I just want to say, going to the Holy War, that was the first Holy War that I was ever to go to.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first one too.
First in person, and I was on like the 15th row, and just being able to be in the student section, be like,
The best student section in the land, bro.
I remember getting chills. I'm getting chills right now.
Just thinking about it.
Utah is on the 3. Okay, we're back. Sorry, we accidentally had a issue.
Technical difficulties, we'll call it.
Somebody was messing around with the electricity.
Connor.
Hey
Yeah.
man, let's not
I don't want to
point
point any names.
Point any names.
I don't want to put any names.
Hold up, now everybody's gonna think I did something. I did
Okay,
not
it was
do
me.
anything.
Okay, it was. Who was it? Just
It's
say
an
you're sorry.
accident, okay? Accidents
Accidents
happen.
do happen.
Accidents
We
happen.
forgive.
Accidents happen. Okay, we forgive you.
Okay.
Okay, going back to the best point in the entire season was that BYU versus Utah. I forgot what I already shared about BYU versus Utah, but here I'm just gonna go. We stayed outside of Lavelle Edwards Stadium for hours. We were there at like 11:30, waiting in line, and we were like group 4, but my buddy got group 1, and so we were on like the 15th row, and I remember just standing there, and Utah was on the 3-yard line, and Dan Pierre's like understanding. He's like hike, but we were all just like yelling. It was like deafening. The people around us were just like screaming their entire lungs out. And he's clapping his hands, he's saying whatever, and the flags fly in, and everyone just roars. Like, everyone was just so happy. It's like, okay, Utah is not prepared for this. They're now on the 1.5 yard line, right? Half the distance to the goal. And so I just remember sitting there listening to the crowd, just being in that environment. And then like the big hit from Satuala, and just like Bear Bachmeier
The
hurdle, and then dragging defenders.
everybody.
Oh my gosh, just everything was absolute cinema. It was so
It's
good.
exactly what you want in a rivalry game.
It was the
awesome.
perfect
It was
rivalry
awesome.
game.
I just felt like I was like floating the entire game. It was just complete elation, all just the whole time. So definitely like the best in-person experience. But I liked watching the Georgia Tech versus BYU Pop-Tarts Bowl. I was not a big fan of the Pop-Tart bit. I know it's like not popular.
What?
You didn't like the Pop-Tart bit?
I don't like the Pop-Tart
Okay,
bits.
at the end, when like they like jumped into the toaster, like that was weird. But like the other parts I liked.
But I just feel like it's doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just I'm a hater against Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts, don't sue us, please. We're just
Pop-Tarts.
college kids.
I eat Pop-Tarts.
Have you
I
seen
I
the-
popped down 2 right after this.
Have
right
you
after
seen the video of Kalani just downing a Pop
guzzling
Tart?
a Pop-Tart? Dude, they mentioned that in the devotional.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He just
Oh, that's
breathes
why it was
it
in my
in.
mind.
Yeah. Kalani Sitake, absolute legend.
Cookie
So
Monster.
definitely those are some of my favorite games. Also honorable mention to Iowa State game. Pretty
Ooh, yeah.
fire. Love
That
that,
was
game.
awesome.
So
All right, let's jump into the worst moment of the season. When were you at your lowest and you were just down in the dumps? I could start off if you guys want.
Okay.
but-
Go for it.
All right. The lowest I was at was probably when LJ Martin fumbled the ball against Texas Tech in the championship game. It was like Texas Tech had a 99.9% chance to win that game, and then after LJ fumbled it, and like that was after an interception too. I think it was a pick six. I can't quite remember because I wasn't paying attention to the game as well. I was kind of just like sulking around the room and kind of being just depressed in general. But then that fumble, it ended it in my heart. I was like, yeah,
The
there's
icing on the
absolutely
cake.
0% chance we win. And then also when Parker Kingston muffed the punt against Texas Tech,
The first time.
that wasn't sadness. That was just pure anger. I was I was so bad. I was like, oh, we stopped him twice on defense.
yeah.
And then we're gonna muff a punt and give it to him at the 15-yard line. I was not happy.
It's okay. We love you, Parker. You redeemed yourself. Can I go?
Yeah.
Because mine's also against Texas Tech. It was such a good, first half of the season, and the turning point was against Texas Tech. And I have never really turned off a BYU football game. I don't know if you guys remember BYU versus Wagner, and it was 70-0.
Yeah.
I watched the whole game because I'm just that. I'm a BYU fan. I'm staying till the end. But
Blue through and through.
But when it was Texas Tech and I was watching it, I was like, I got halftime. I was like, okay, it's only 7-13. We can come back out of the break. And then when we went
did you really
down,
believe that?
I believed it because that's just how BYU is.
I was already depressed at that point.
I believed in the cardiac Cougars. Being down 7-13. I was like, okay, BYU's going to go into halftime. They're going to come back out, and everything's going to be hunky dory. But when we went down 20-7, I actually turned off the TV, and I went into my room and I started to do an assignment, but I was just so I was just so upset. I think I went for a walk. I was so depressed. I was like, we had so much going for us, and then it was Texas Tech versus BYU again.
We never had anything going for us.
Let's go, and then it's oh my gosh, not again. So Texas Tech, no hard feelings, but yeah,
I hate you.
I hate you. That's what I was gonna say.
That's fair. I mean, when you have a 12-2 season and your two losses are to the same team, it's not any miracle. And it doesn't take a lot of logic, a lot of critical thinking to make you realize that all the bad moments are going to come in the two losses. And so I also had one. It was actually when Texas Tech took the lead in the title game, because that was a clear. They didn't show it enough that I was really mad about it.
Oh, was it
The hack-
long pass play?
It was the long pass play, 33-yard touchdown, where the receiver, clear as day, pushes off of Shmev. Clear as day. Shmev's arms are up in the air. He gets two-handed pushed, and they didn't show it enough on the broadcast. The replays, you can't see it anywhere except on the original play. But it was so obvious that he just had pushed off, because I'm like, nobody gets 2 feet of separation on Shmev without pass interference. And so I was so mad, and they took the lead, and we got no help. And then the next offensive drive like that, and the deflation started right there, and it was just dang.
Also, the diving catch in the end zone where the ref had his hat off, and it shows the ref throws his hat because it was an ineligible receiver downfield, and then he catches a touchdown, and the same ref that threw his hat for an
He's bald. He's bald, and he's signaling touchdown.
And he's signaling touchdown. I'm like, why did you throw your hat? He can't catch the ball.
And so that was disappointing.
I think they did review it after though, and he didn't go out. But
No, I like my version better. Everyone is against BYU.
It's BYU
oh,
versus
you know the
whole
other
wide world.
the other just sad moment. This doesn't even have that much to do with BYU, but when Oregon just dismantled Texas Tech 23-0. I was like, wait, I thought Texas Tech was good.
By the end of it, I was just like,
disappointed the Big 12 was.
by the end of that, I was just like, ha! I was like, you got beat the way that you beat every other team that season. I was like,
Wait,
now you know how
were
we
happy
feel.
with that game?
By the end of it, I was just so done with them. I wasn't cheering for it. I was just like, but when it happened, I was like, boom, you get what you just gave us, like, where our quarterback played the worst game, like all the stuff that like you got upset at us for saying, you guys now have to say the same things. And so anyway,
Can I give a runner-up?
Of course.
A runner-up, something that was bad but went good. It was Kalani Sitake going to Penn State. Just like the rumors, I didn't sleep. Like I don't know why I'm so invested in Kalani Sitake, but I literally like heard that rumor before going to bed, and I tossed and turned all night. And I was like, Kalani, please just stay. Please just stay. I wanted to like go find him, beg him, on my knees, like, Kalani, please just stay at BYU. And
you know what, Nate? You've convinced me. That was a horrible. That was even.
What? Were you trying to be Kalani Sitake?
No, I was just doing a lower voice, but like.
Yeah, that was not good. Well, but guess what? Do you know what the best part was though? I saw him at a basketball game right before the break, and I got my hug from Kalani Sitake. Kalani Sitake said he wants to give a hug to every BYU fan. I got my hug, and I said, Kalani, I'm so glad you didn't leave. And I was able to tell him how I felt about him. But like he was like, appreciate you, dog. I love you. And I was like, yeah, I love you too, Kalani. And we took a flick. So shout out to Kalani Sitake. Awesome. That could have been like that would have made this season so terrible if Kalani would have left. So
that would have been really rough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. On a lighter note, after all the depression, right? I decided to go back to the preseason. I decided to keep the receipts and look at the preseason rankings for the Big 12. So BYU ranked number 8.
Bruh.
Projected to finish number 8 in the Big 12, whereas they actually finished tied for first.
Was Arizona State number 1, or was that?
I'll just read the list because this aged like not that good. They have Arizona State number 1, Texas Tech number 2, Kansas State number 3, TCU number 4, Utah number 5, Baylor number 6, Iowa State number 7, BYU comes in at number 8. Then Kansas, Colorado, Cincinnati, Houston, Oklahoma State, Arizona, UCF, and West Virginia. So it wasn't all bad, but I loved what they just like put BYU at 8. How like of a cold take that was, and it just like they weren't saying like they weren't sure about us because we had to Jake Retzloff, all this stuff had literally happened like not that long before the preseason, and so they're like they have to choose a new starter from Trayson Berger, McKay Hillstead, and Bear Bachmeyer, and they have to replace a lot of people on the defensive and offensive lines that didn't believe in BYU. So I think we were projected to go on our schedule 7-5,
bruh,
and to go 11-2, 12-2 with the bowl game. Yeah. That's incredible.
And technically 12-1 because 2 of those losses was to the same team. I'm still kind of upset about that, but
yeah. I kind of want to speculate here. Where do you think we'd be if Bear Bachmeyer wasn't the starting quarterback for? Like, where would we be if it was McKay Hillstead? Like, let's not hate on McKay Hillstead, but like, we probably wouldn't have been.
I think we would have been
12-2.
I think we would have been 8-4, 9-4 with the bowl win.
The Arizona game was close. The Iowa State game, like those are 2 very losable games.
Low-key Utah was a close game.
Oh yeah,
Utah. Yeah, it was close.
Like we walk away from that game like, yeah, we won by 10, but
it felt like 10. It felt like we won by 10, but scoreboard says 3. So
was it 3?
We won by 3.
They scored like a garbage time.
They scored the last touchdown and then kicked their own onside kick because they don't know how to onside kick. But
it was, but I remember them kicking the onside kick, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna win the game right here on a Hail Mary," like that's what I was doing. Okay, I remember now. Sorry, thank you, Connor. I heard. Yeah.
Wow, it was a really sweet moment.
I love this board.
We got to get Nate away from the board.
Wait, have you already memorized like which one does which?
Yeah.
Well, that one's easy. That was right at the corner. But like that soft like little springy music, that was nice.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Chimes. Okay. Okay, next topic.
All right, here's our last topic. It kind of goes along with worst moment of the season, but like this one's biggest disappointment. Like, what were you just like?
Man, why are we trying to end on the negative notes?
I mean, we could talk about something happy at the end, but like, what were you expecting? Gotcha. Like that was gonna be good, and then it ended up not.
I feel like a disappointment definitely doesn't mean like it has to be super negative. I think a disappointment was we didn't make it into the college football playoffs when I felt like we deserved to be in there. Of course, I'm a BYU fan, so there's a kind of a biased opinion there. But I think looking forward, BYU has kind of the momentum to get into the college football playoffs. Bear Bachmeier is going to stay. Ryder Lyons just barely left on his mission.
LJ Martin's staying.
And he's going to be back. LJ Martin's staying. Shmev is staying. Satawala's staying. We've got a bunch of big names staying. And we're going to get bigger names because I think BYU is starting to get into its prime. And so we're going to get some big guys out here. We got Lyons' cousin coming out. We got
Shout out Walker, yeah.
the
Already got a couple
wide receiver from
transfers.
Oregon who's cracked. I forgot what his name is.
Yeah. And then we have, I'm looking it up right now.
Just look up transfer portal.
Here,
tracker.
while we look up that, I'll give my disappointment.
Is there a person or is it like an
there's
like
yeah.
what he was saying? You have a person? Okay.
A person.
He's like Parker Kingston.
I have
Parker
have a
Kingston.
couple of
If you listen to the
Okay,
podcast, we actually
I just
love
want
you.
somebody else to have a person so I don't feel bad.
Yeah. Okay.
right.
Here's what I have. This one's not on them, but JoJo Phillips and Sione Moa being injured
Oh yeah.
for most of the season. That was
Yeah.
huge because JoJo Phillips would have been like our third wide receiver that would have kind of solidified everything. And then with Carson Ryan at tight end, we would have had 3 really good wide receivers and then a really good tight end.
We would have had a ground game in the big without
Yeah, we
LJ, we would have had a
I feel
ground
like we
game.
would have had, and we still had a really complete team. But like with JoJo being there for the whole season, it would have just felt like we had that synergy and like that completeness that helped the team. And then Sione Moa, he was going to be the big backup to LJ Martin this season, and it was going to be a great 1-2 punch. And I'm a bit worried we fed LJ Martin the ball a little bit too much, and he's going to have a rough offseason, might not come back like completely the same. But just a little disappointing. Sione Moa wasn't able to be back there. And then one more, Will Farron. Like, I love the guy. Biggest kick in BYU history against Utah last year. He went 2 for 7 on field goals from the 40 to 49-yard range. And that's kind of like a sweet spot for kickers that you need. Like, if you're a kicker and you can make all your field goals from that spot, you're gonna be kicking probably in the pros. And so just disappointing he was able to convert. Luckily, it didn't hurt us that bad. Like, we didn't lose any games that were really close. But just a little letdown from the hype that he had coming into this year.
Yeah, I was also going to say Will Farron. But I did want to say, aside from that, he still made, as voted by the coaches, he was still a Big 12 second team, according to what I found here. So, like, even a down season, and just anything above 40 was not as reliable, but still consistent on the PATs, consistent on shorter field goals, still took some pressure off the offense, but obviously underperformed in the way that everybody thought he was going to be. Kind of the expectation, which was also a very high expectation, but I think he still did decent. I did want to say that, but it was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk transfers like a minute and then wrap this up?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right.
Biggest transfers.
Yeah, BYU. I guess I can just read through the list of I think all the transfers that we have. The most recent one, actually, I don't think he's on this list. There's Cade Olave. I think I said that right.
Oh yeah.
The linebacker from Cal.
He was
And
their
then-
captain.
I know, and it's gonna be huge replacing Jack Kelly. So I think we're gonna have a really good linebacking core again this year. Walker Lyons, the tight end from USC, Ryder Lyons' brother. The guy you're talking about, Nate Kyler Casper, wide receiver from Oregon.
And he had a pretty impressive season from what I saw. Like he did pretty good at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had an injury bug. He had 6 receptions for 77 yards this last year. But
in the
pretty
middle
good for
of,
like having an injury too.
in the middle of their playoff run.
Yeah, and
he
it's like a
decided
good team.
to get up, just pick up and go to BYU. In the middle, they were still in the playoff. The Ducks were still in the playoff when he committed to BYU.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Super excited for that.
Pocky Finau, I hope I'm saying that right, offensive lineman from Washington. I don't really know about
Related to Tony.
him.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
And then Zach Yamauchi, another O lineman this is a guy who is getting back from his Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints mission, and he was going to go to Stanford, but now he is going to go to BYU. And I think there's one more guy that wasn't on this list, or maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so BYU getting some good transfers coming in, and we really didn't have that many big names leave. Like, lots of big guys are staying there. Like, let's run it back. Let's go make the college football playoff. Let's go win the Big 12 championship. Let's go shock the world.
Glasgow, Bear, Tiger, all of them staying. It's going to be awesome. Well, guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. This is probably going to be one of our last football episodes, unfortunately. We might talk about the playoffs a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Next season, we'll be getting back, hopefully, into football. Guys, thanks for listening. Oh, that's the wrong button.
I guess you don't have it yet, huh?
Nope.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Here's the outro music. We love you guys. Go listen to our live stream. We're going to do play-by-play for all the away basketball games. We're super stoked for that. Listen to the podcast. Hike the Y on Spotify. Go watch our YouTube channel. Hike the Y on YouTube. Go follow us on Twitter. Hike the Y. We love talking to you guys. See ya.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.